3 questions to ask before you give up on that professional designation. Let's talk about it. Roll it. Welcome back to another video where we've been exploring this whole idea of giving up and quitting, how they are the same yet different, and how they go hand in hand. I'll link that series below. I encourage you to take a look at that series so you see what quitting's all about, and subscribe so you get this daily videos on giving up so that you can really put the difference into context so that you can see their similarities and really work towards a healthy movement forward in your situation. Yesterday's video was all about education and a whole in itself, where this is more geared to the professional types who have decided, hey, 10 years later I decided to go back to do a designation, but now I'm realizing life's a little bit more challenging, and it's making the program more challenging, and it's making everything more difficult. Did I make the right move? I have more conversations on this topic than I could have ever imagined. Usually when people go back to school to finish a designation like accounting or MBA or what have you, they're going through this process of, I need to advance my career, so I will stick it out for 1, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and I will work on weekends while I have the family, while I'm working, and eventually I'll finish that program and I'll be able to move up the ladder a little bit quicker. However, this is incredibly challenging to do, especially 10 years later, and especially when you've hustled and not slept and not giving your body a break, not giving your mind a break. Maybe you have kids and you don't sleep at all. You name it. There's no me time, and it's incredibly challenging to go to school and do all that after you've experienced all that as well. And this is why more people are seeing that, and they'll try to finish up a post-secondary designation after you do your post-secondary a lot sooner in their life instead of going back. And the reality is life gets in the way, and it becomes so challenging that we go down this route of giving up. If we don't have the support that we need, it becomes even more challenging, and that support will come from the family that is around us, that will help us, give us the opportunity to succeed. And sometimes, though, we have situations in our life where that's not possible. Question 1, what do you feel like giving up? What is actually occurring? Is it the pressures from the outside, or is it the actual program? Is it that you thought you could do it better, and now you're having a series of bad examinations and the results aren't favorable to you? Are you feeling like you're going to get embarrassed by not finishing? And is this giving up notion something that's popping up more often than not because of any one event that's recurring? This idea is very simple. Where are these negative emotions coming from? Why are they there? And how can we work on putting them in a spot where we can start focusing on the logic? Question number 2 is, what was your enthusiastic self looking at before you started all this? What was that expectation? Did you think, hey, it was up here and you're going to be doing great, and this will be a walk in the park, it's just a few things you got to deal with? Or, was it a reasonable level? What is actually occurring with your mindset on steps after? What's going to happen when you're done? Are you looking at it from that perspective? These are all important aspects, and they relate to that emotional side where we have to sit there and ask ourselves what is actually happening, and how can we really look at the important perspective behind all of it. This is incredibly critical to understand. It's tied, and the emotions will either allow you to really look at this at face value or not. And if you think that, hey, I'm just gonna try and figure this out without grabbing hold of these emotions, this will become more challenging. Is it doable? Yes, but it will become more challenging, and it will be more challenging from perspective of making that decision on giving up or not, because regret will be at play. Question number 3 to address here is, if you do give up, what is the benefit to you? What's going to actually happen? Is it because you just kind of want to give up because this is too hard? Is that really the reason, or is it for other reasons? And hey, maybe I can use what I did here and advance with it. Usually when we're doing a program like this, it is just going to be a waste of time, money, and energy, and that is it. And you're caving towards that hardness, and it's too hard. Your ego's taking over, and then you just kind of give up, and I'll come back to it later on. And so really figure out what is going to happen when you give up. Can you use this in any way? Can you move forward in some way? What can we do? And how will this be of benefit? Now, if you had just started the program and you're only losing money, that's fine. But if you're, halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, and you've already dumped all the money for some of these programs that are super expensive, the question really begs, is it worth it? Some of you might be in this situation because your workplace told you, hey, go to school, we'll pay for like half of it, or we'll pay all of it. And maybe there's an embarrassment value that's really been pushing you, but you're coming to a place where you don't really care anymore. Or maybe it's because you're going to have to pay that back if they see that you quit. Many things can occur, and then the question is, what are you going to do if that's the situation? How are you going to plan that out so that you can quit in accordance to what is good for you? You don't want to be stuck with debt. And you don't want to be stuck with debt that the family is going to suffer through. You have other people that you need to consider. Hey, consider them. Don't allow that thought to not cross your mind because you're in an emotional state. This is why I want you to really focus on those emotions. My personal experience has been that I went for the MBA and I decided against it. One was the value, two was the money and the time, and I had to put that value in accordance and balance them out. I did get in, and then I decided, is this worth it, and do I really need this extra debt? It was, to do what I need to do. Along the lines, I met somebody who was working on a project, and it was for a lot of money, and he goes, the only way you'll take this project is if you get your project management designation. And alas, I went and did the PMP, which was way more affordable and, on the pocket. And time-wise, it was like overnight in comparison to the MBA. I had to adjust for that, and yes, while I was studying for the PMP, I was really going through it and going, is this me right now? Do I need this right now? Do I need this headache? And I wanted that challenge of that contract, so I had to do it, and it was a big influence for me to go do it. It was a lot of money, but it was an opportunity of a lifetime to take on such a massive project, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was great. So really understand yourself before moving forward on this process. Get that idea of giving up out of your head as a negative. Let's switch it into more of a positive so we can look at these emotions, put them in check, look at that actual opportunity that exists from a perspective of, do we give up or not? And then let's put reality expectations into play, not the assumption-filled, fun, out in left field expectations in play, and really focus on staying in the program, staying in what you're doing, or giving up in a way where you can take what you've done and using it as an opportunity for success. My name is Nico's Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Of course, hit the subscribe button to get your daily motivational ideas, to get you moving in the right direction. And, of course, leave your comment below. Leave your story. What have you done? How did it work out? What would you have done differently? And, of course, leave it in a way where somebody might be reading it, they may relate, and you might help change their life.
Snow again.